Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks is here doing this interview with the panel about the recent interview with Joe Rogan and Trump. Now, the issue is that Cenk Uygur here is actually not, defending, Trump or Joe Rogan, but the fact that he has an issue with why Kamala is not doing the interview, which makes sense in how Trump doing the interview would be bad for him. And Cenk Uygur says that a while back he will want Trump on his show. So this is basically some hard code with Cenk Uygur. So we're going to go ahead and get into this with Cenk Uygur and others from the Young Turks.
I want to talk about whether that was a good idea and whether Kamala Harris avoiding it was a good idea or not. But I wanted to point out one other fact in there that was amazing. So I'm not that interested in white, non-white, et cetera, in that regard. But the stunning one to me was, so, Yaz just read you guys a bunch of stuff, the Rogan, Theo Vaughn and Shane Gillis, UFC trading, cryptocurrency trading, pro wrestling. So, but that's not that big a category. You saw it in that first chart. So all those folks Trump's winning with. But when you take that out, Kamala Harris with everyone else in America is leading by 26. So to me, one of the things that says is, Trump is winning social media in a big, big way. And Kamala Harris, has she done a social media interview? She probably has, but I mean, it was probably
she did the call. Did she do the call your daddy?
Oh podcast? Yeah, she did that podcast. That's kind of social media, right? So like, they just did mainstream media, but mainstream media is already on your side. The viewers are pretty much on your side, and so I don't think they understand that social media, digital media even quite exists.
Actually, digital media as well as the media, mainstream media itself are starting to come to an end because on this particular episode of the Joe Rogan podcast where Trump made the appearance, Cenk doesn't make this known because this is also an early recording, is the fact that there's millions upon millions of viewers from that interview. Okay, so basically it was like 10 million views of that interview in over a 24-hour period. Now the fact of the matter is that it was like over almost 2-3 hours long and everything, and they covered like a lot of stuff, and Rogan got a lot of it out of Trump and stuff, more than Cenk Uygur would get out of him. So yeah, it was actually pretty amazing interview. If you enjoyed this interview, go ahead and smash the like button, share this video, follow across social media, and if you have done so, really enjoyed all the content I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click notifications, so that way you're notified future uploads. And from that Joe Rogan Experience interview with Donald Trump, Cenk Uygur will be shocked to find out that that interview has over like 35 million views on YouTube in the past couple of days. So that's probably a new record for Rogan, and Cenk Uygur may not like it once he starts talking about it in the future.
Like, oh no, we'll get some TikTokers to say nice things about us, we'll pay them, etc. But that's not anywhere near enough. But okay, back to Rogan. Look, if it's the beginning of the campaign, what I would say to them is, both of them, my advice would be definitely do it. What are you going to do? Like, do you think you should be president? If you think you should be president, go make that case. Go make that case on Rogan. Go make that case on MSNBC. Go make that case on Fox News. Go make that case everywhere, and don't stop making your own case. Get all the free media you can.
Cenk Uygur does make a good point, and it seems to me like the rest of the people on the left are finally acknowledging this, that Kamala is not doing well in the polls, and she's not doing well with the media. As a matter of fact, it seems to me that the media is her biggest opponent, and Cenk Uygur is finally recognizing that. And the fact of the matter is, there's a lot more things happening out there that Cenk Uygur needs to see as well as acknowledge. And the fact of the matter is, in the election night, I have a feeling that Cenk Uygur is going to be pretty disappointed with the results.
Now, here we are about 10 days out from the election. That's a little bit different calculus. Whoever is leading at this point, since it's so late, probably shouldn't do the interview, especially because Rogan can ask questions that are unconventional. So like if Kamala Harris goes on CNN, you know what range of questions they're gonna have, and she's already got her talking points ready for that. But
talking points, more like she's basically repeating the same word salad words over and over again in every speech. But that's here and there.
Rogan might give her a question that does not compute for talking points. On the other hand, Trump currently, it looks like he's got a slight lead. And Rogan is one of the places he could blow it, because look, this is what I've said all along, and this poll shows it, that Rogan's audience is mainly right wing. Like he gets super upset when people say that. But brother, these are facts now. I mean, you can complain about it, but that's just what it is. It's not necessarily because Rogan's so right wing. It's just that like 8 out of 10 of his guests are massively right wing.
I'm pretty sure that majority is like, there's no definitive point where how many people who are viewers as well as guests are right wing, but apparently if it's anyone who doesn't agree with Cenk Uygur's opinions or doesn't support his opinions or have the same ideology as that Cenk Uygur has, you know, basically they're all right wing. I mean, he had Robert Downey Jr. up there to name a few, and as well as a few others. But the fact of the matter is people who's on this on Rogan podcast that has independent, you know, opinions that are from not the left or the right, and Cenk Uygur needs to go ahead and acknowledge that.
So then he wound up having just a right wing audience, or at least a plus 35 right wing. But even so, Trump is so crazy, and he juggles hand grenades for a living. So in a context where it's less controlled and Rogan is more independent because he doesn't need to kiss Trump's ass, he doesn't need the interview, etc., he can ask him a couple of questions that Trump could really bungle.
And the fact of the matter is Joe Rogan was actually just simply having a discussion with Trump. It didn't really feel, it felt like an interview, but it wasn't an actual interview and stuff because they just had some talk about different things related to the election as well as, you know, the UFC. I watched it and it was a pretty good interview, well, discussion. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, Cenk Uygur may have to go ahead and acknowledge that, you know, there's people who are in the audience of Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan Experience is that they're not affiliated with, you know, any party, but they might be, but it's not majority of them. And how would he know about that? I mean, he might have looked at the comments and went on ahead and assumed for that. But Cenk Uygur, on the other hand, I mean, didn't he say that he was going to run for president? I wonder what happened to that. But the fact of the matter is that Joe Rogan is beating out the mainstream media when it comes to the growth and everything, as well as the public interest. And Cenk Uygur, on the other hand, I mean, he may have to get with the program, you know, disavow the Democrat Party, and Cenk Uygur might as well just become an independent if he feels that way.
Can Trump say anything crazy enough that it would hurt him? Because he's already said every crazy thing in the world. Maybe if I was leading and I was Trump, I don't think I'd do the Rogan interview. But and at this point, Kamala Harris, is she really going to win over the Rogan crowd? That'd be super tough. In the beginning, I would have said definitely do it. At this point, I'm not sure she should do it.
Interesting. So Cenk Uygur had to change her heart all of a sudden because of the fact that Cenk Uygur sees the momentum that Trump has with the voters as well as the public. I mean, he's not just warming up to the base. Trump is actually winning over undecided voters as well as people from minority communities as well. And the fact of the matter is Cenk Uygur may be in another disappointment on election night. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you might have this particular topic. If you enjoyed what I shared in this video, go ahead, smash the like button, share this video far wide across social media. And if you haven't done so already and you enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.